Hi everybody, so this is A.R.S.E, a Random Center Explains, and today we're going to talk about the singularity and whether or not it was conscious. Um, so what I mean by that is like us as human beings are conscious. We're able to think, and there is no reason to believe that the singularity also wasn't capable of thought, because it was made up of everything in the universe. Um, if it's true, I have my issues with the Big Bang, but we're gonna go with the if that it's, that's what happened. There was a singularity, it exploded, and now the resulting, 26 billion years later, I'm here making a video about it. So, uh, was it conscious? Was the Big Bang a sentient decision, meaning that the singularity realized it was alone and decided to make everything from one thing? Because, okay, the singularity existing, that means everything was in it. This 96 billion light years of observable universe plus whatever else exists beyond it. If hyperinflation or hyperexpansion of the universe uh, is true, meaning that after the first initial time after the Big Bang, the the expansion of the universe was exponential. And so the result would be that the actual size of the universe, for comparison size, the 96 billion light years we can see currently would be the size of a light bulb, and the actual universe would be the size of Pluto. So that's, and it's still expanding. If the Big Bang is true. So the reason why I say if too also is that right now, when you look at the farthest regions of space, you see what you call superstructures, and these are not just galaxy clusters, which our solar system is part of the Virgo supercluster bumped up. These are like collections or groups of superclusters that seem to be moving in unison. And the other thing about observational science, as far as deep space is concerned, um, we've only been using, I guess, what you would call modern equipment, or for like 60 years. I would say since the 60s. Uh, so like these observations that we have and that we made, about galaxies moving and that resulting movement, meaning that there was a Big Bang, are just guesses off very limited information. I forgot exactly how it worked out, but it was something like, since the invention of the first telescope, if that was one day, we've been using modern equipment for only a minute. So like we really don't have an idea exactly what's going on out there. What I mean? What I mean is, like, most people that do go into this line of thought realize that we don't know what we don't know. So, like I said before, to take it back to what I was talking about, the singularity being conscious. I think it's more than likely it was, and, you know, so, I mean, was it God? If you believe in God, I mean, I believe in something called the Great Provider, or the universe being one whole sentient being. So, yeah, I mean, it's possible that the singularity was a being of some sort, and it realized, like I said, it was the only thing in existence, and it decided to make everything in existence that we see now. Like, one of my favorite things I like to say is that one thing becoming everything can only be irrational. There's no rational explanation really for the universe as we see it. If you, I don't want to go too far into dark matter, but with photons, light particles, and phonons, sound particles, don't interact. What I mean by that is, like, they can move independently of each other, sound and light. So um, the Big Bang happens, the the way I envision it is that there was what would probably be what we call the big implosion, meaning that it withdrew into itself and then exploded because it had to break that barrier of being everything. So, um, was there a sound? Maybe, that whole thing about if a tree falls on the floor, does it make a sound? Well, yeah, it does. Physics says that it does. So, in that resulting sound, you now incorporate wave dynamics. So you have a sound wave. Before anything else existed, there was already phonons. Uh, and then you have the matter, which resulted from the Big Bang, then interacting and creating photons. So the cosmic background radiation, um, which is what we think is the resulting energy from the Big Bang, like like I wouldn't call it background noise, but background radiation of the universe. Um, it's uh, I guess proof that something happened, you know, 26 billion years ago or whatever. So I mean, or it could just be that it's always been there, like the universe has always just been here. I mean, and there's no start or end to it. And, so the cosmic background radiation is just the result of all this radiation resulting from these stars. Okay. Light. After billions of years, it turns red. It's called redshift. There's something called the entire light theory, which I don't believe in, which says that light eventually slows down or stops. I don't think that's true. I mean, gravity does affect light. So if there is a gravitron, which hasn't been found yet, but maybe that's what's at the center of a black hole, the actual gravity particle. Anyways, that's going off track. So the singularity and light and sound. So there's an explosion, the Big Bang, boom. There's light, there's sound, and then light as a reaction to that sound, I guess. The wave dynamics of sound, those particles colliding, causing friction, and then light, and then so there's light. But sound, I guess, creates its own gravity. So sound particles themselves, however minuscule they are, they spin, and that spin creates gravity. So all sound creates its own gravity, meaning that you create gravity as you speak, and it's independent of photons, meaning that it could be called what's dark. So dark matter, I guess that's my explanation for it, is that it's the resulting gravity from the sound in the universe. Because the reason why we can't see in the distant space is because of space dust. There's like these microscopic particles, and there's trillions and quadrillions of them, and they are what diffuse the light, or what gives light and sound in space a background to react to, or a medium, I guess. So back to the singularity being conscious. Yeah, I mean, I think it's more than plausible that it was, and that yeah, I mean, if the Big Bang happened, it was a conscious decision by whatever the singularity was. What else? Let me see. Argument against the Big Bang. So those superstructures I was talking about earlier, like those, not just galaxies, but like supercluster galaxies, and then those superclusters moving in what they call large structures, moving together. That could be proof of a everlasting universe. I mean, it just always was the universe, and that we're just in a slow, like, orbital path around it. There's no expansion. It's an orbit, meaning that the movement that we've observed, like I was telling you, it's only been 60 years since we've been using modern scientific equipment. It's not the galaxy is being pushed away from the center of the universe, which was is what thought to led to the Big Bang. It would be go all the way back to what's pushing them. But it's an orbit. It's going to go around eventually over billions and billions of years. And so like, because we're part of the Virgo supercluster, so we're in that orbital path right now. You know what I'm saying? Like our galaxy is being moved by something bigger, and it's a part of something bigger. So yeah, I mean, there's always in space some weird things, like around the background cosmic radiation and redshift. I think it's just that light, stretches out or diffuses, and it doesn't stop moving at the speed of light, which can be affected by gravity. It just becomes more red, and that's what redshift is. It's not that light's getting tired; it's just that it's just getting longer. The wavelength. Um, yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it. The singularity was conscious. I really think it was, and that's an interesting thought right there. So yeah, if you have a counter, I'd like to see it in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Namaste.